Okay, now we're going to move on to the pips, which is the more complicated portion of this week. And we start with this red color Ladybird. Again, it says, nota bene, all the rounds are worked on the right side of the work, so we're not turning, we're just rotating. And we're going to join into any corner 2 chain space. I'm going to join on the opposite corner, just a different corner from where I joined last time, so that I don't have so many extra ends to weave in. Okay, so joining in this space, remember to join, just act like we didn't cut our yarn. We just pull it up, lock it in with that chain 1, which does not count as a stitch. And then we're going to do 2 single crochets into that same chain space. That's why it's in parentheses in the pattern. 1, and I'm going to mark that as my first stitch. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, and then 2 chains. 1, 2, and back into the same chain space. We're doing 1 single crochet and 2 single crochet, and then we're doing 1, 2. Now it's a star in our pattern, so it's going to start the repeat. Okay. So the repeat, oops, sorry, isn't 2 chains, it's 1 chain after that last single crochet. And it says the star repeat, 1 chain, miss the next stitch, and we are missing that hidden corner stitch. I had to slide this over to see it, so that's actually my missed stitch. And then we're going to do 1 single crochet into the next stitch. So after we do our corner, we're going to do 1 chain, miss next stitch, 1 single crochet into the next stitch. Then this just repeats the whole way around until we get to the corner. So we're going to do 1 chain, miss this stitch, 1 single crochet into the next, 1 chain, miss the next stitch, 1 single crochet, 1 chain, miss the next stitch, going under both loops, 1 single crochet. And we'll keep doing this all the way down until we get to the corner. We should have, when we break off our red at the end, we're going to be counting 43 single crochets on each side and 41 chain spaces along each side. So I'll meet you at this corner to show you how to do the corner. Okay, I'm approaching the next corner, so we're going to keep going with our pattern. As I approach the next corner here, 1 single crochet, 1 chain, skip the next stitch, 1 single crochet, chain 1, skip the next stitch, single crochet, chain 1, skip, single crochet, chain 1, skip, single crochet, chain 1, skip. We're going to keep going down the side in the same pattern until we skip, and you should land. So you did your 1 single crochet, chain 1, so you skip here, got 1 more right here. You should land with 1 more stitch left before the corner. If you don't land here, you've miscounted. The pattern's wrong. You gotta go back. So go 1 single crochet, because every time you're doing a chain 1, it's essentially like you're making up for that skipped stitch. So you should have 1 chain above each of the missing skip stitches. Okay, so we did the chain 1, and then now we do into the corner. So it says chain 1, skip next stitch, and then into the corner you do 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, 1 chain, 2 chain, 1 single crochet, and 2 single crochets, and that's going to make up your corner. Okay, let's take a break and count, and make sure that you have the appropriate count for this side. And remember, you have to count not only the single crochets, but the chain spaces, which basically count as single crochets because you're going to work into them in the next round. So when you're counting, you can really just think of it as 83 stitches across each side. And remember, your first stitch, you start counting it after the chain 2. So your first 2 stitches count for this row, not for this row. And then whenever you are counting, just look at your stitches across the top, because you want to count the chains like they're a stitch. So this chain doesn't count, but here's my first stitch of the round. So that would be count for number 1. Number 2, those are my corner pieces. And then stitch number 3 is actually that chain. Stitch number 4 is that single crochet. Number 5 is that chain. Number 6 is that single crochet. Number 7 is a chain. Okay, So you're counting the chains across, or you can just flip and look at your V's on the top, kind of spread them out if you need to, and know you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and count them that way. You should come all the way across to this side, and number 83 should be your second single crochet in the corner. Remember how we did 2 in the corner and 2 chains and 2 in the same corner? Okay, so do this round that way all the way across until you're ready to join on the other side. Make sure you take a break and count 83 across for each side. All right, so I'm on my last side with the Ladybird red. We're doing single crochet chain 1, and I've been counting to make sure I have 83 across, including my chains. So the single crochet was stitch number 80. So I'll do 1 chain to make it 81. And then I'm back where I started. I'm going to slip stitch here into my first single crochet, which I marked. And I know since that chain counted as number 81, my first 2 stitches are actually the last 2 for this round, 82, 83. So I know I have 83 stitches correctly across each side. I'm just slip stitching in to join. And then we're going to yarn over, pull through, and fasten off Ladybird. And just snip. And pull that through. And if you look on the pattern, it says we need to have also 4 2 chain spaces, so make sure you're doing your corner on every side. All right, 5th round, we are going to our chocolate round, and this is the round that we're going to learn that new stitch that, I don't know if you've done it before, this one right here, double crochet 2 together, which is a decrease. It's pretty simple. It's just like a double crochet, but you're combining 2 stitches. But it's important to note that we're working into the chain space because they're telling us to do this over the next single crochet and 1 chain space. So let me show you how that ends up working out with the chocolate. So again, I'm actually going to join the chocolate knot where I just finished because I don't want to have a bunch of bulky ends weaved in the exact same spot. So I'm going to kind of alternate the corner space that I'm starting into each time, since for this pattern it doesn't matter. Sometimes that does matter, but in this case it doesn't. So taking my chocolate, I'm finding that corner 2 chain space from the Ladybird 4th round. Now I'm going to join the chocolate into that 2 chain space. So I'm going to pull through, kind of holding the tail back here. I'm going to chain 1 to lock it. That does not count as a stitch, but it's a double crochet height, so we have to do 3 chains. So that's 1 chain, 2 chain, 3 chain, and if you want to, you can mark your first stitch, and the pattern notes that this 3 chain does count as your first double crochet. Now this corner is a little bit bigger than the other corners we've been doing. We have been doing 2 double crochets, 2 chain, 2 double crochets in previous round. This is 3 double crochets, 2 chain, 3 double crochets. So that counts as 1. Yarn over, insert into the Ladybird chain space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, and 1 more double crochet, yarn over to the chain space, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. So now I have 3 double crochets, 1 chain, 2 chain. I'm still working into that same corner space. It's in parentheses in my pattern. So we're going to do 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, and 3 double crochet, all into that corner chain space. Definitely tell the blanket is growing. All right, now next in the pattern, turn this situated. It says we're going to do 1 chain. Going to miss the first stitch. I'm going to move this over so we can see that hidden stitch right there. See it? And we're going to double crochet 2 together. So the first stitch is really a chain from the previous round. So double crochet 2 together. We're going to double crochet these 2, this single crochet and this chain space right here. Okay, so we're going to yarn over. Going to skip that stitch, go into this single crochet, insert into both loops, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, and now we're going to add on the next stitch. We're not going to finish this all the way. So we're going to say yarn over, but we're not going to insert in the stitch we were just in. We're going to insert into the chain space because we're going to combine these 2 stitches. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, this is where it's weird, pull through all 3. So now we have a stitch that is the height of a double crochet, but at the top we have one stitch right here, one stitch, but we went into a stitch and a chain space down here. Okay, let's do it again. So the pattern star repeats now. So it's one chain, and then the pattern tells us to double crochet 2 together. This time it's a little different because we're going to work back into that same chain 1 space. We're going to reuse it. And we're going to just continue working now into the chain 1 spaces. So we only went into that first stitch for this first round. Now we're working in these chain 1 spaces. So I already chained 1. We're going to yarn over back into this one that we were just in. Insert a hook, pull loop, loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, insert into the next chain space, pull up a loop, 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, chain 1. Again, yarn over. I go back into this chain space I was just in, pull up my loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, now pause, yarn over into the next chain space. So you didn't complete that double crochet all the way because you're doing these 2 together. 4 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, and a chain 1, yarn over, back into this chain space, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, going into the next chain space, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, chain 1, yarn over, go back into that chain space we were just in, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over into the next chain space now, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, do it again, chain 1, back into the space that I was just working in, into the next space, pull through 3, chain 1, back into that chain, and then into the next chain space, chain 1, back into the one I was just in, yarn over. I can tell you exactly where I'm going to mess up. I'm going to forget to chain in between, or I'm going to forget to go back into the chain space and reuse that same chain space because it's a little weird. Okay, so that's how you do the brown for this row, and the whole point is you're basically covering up all of the red stitches, so all that's left is these little red ladybird pips throughout, and you should see you're creating this pattern. It's okay to have the space here, that's normal, but the pip should all be covered except for these red dots, okay? All right, so keep doing that until we get to the corner. You should still have 89 stitches along each side edge, so you're counting 89 again. I am almost done here. You can get in a nice rhythm with this stitch, but I do question my sanity if I put a chain in or not. So I have found myself undoing that chain a time or two to make sure I put it in there. So we chain 1, we yarn over, insert into the same chain space where we were working. So you've been skipping all these single crochets throughout. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over into the next chain space, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, chain 1, yarn over, back into that same space, yarn over into the next space, through 2. Right there, it's that chain that I'm going like, did I do that or did I not do that? I literally can't remember. Okay, and then the end is a little bit different than the rest because we went into this chain space and now we have to do one more set of double crochet 2 together, but we don't have another chain space because we're at the corner. Okay, so for this one you're gonna single crochet, you're gonna chain 1, yarn over, go back into the same chain space where you were working, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and you're gonna go into this last stitch right there. So this is the only time you're going into a single crochet and not a chain, is when you're right next to the corner on either side. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. Then it says chain 1, and then we go into doing our corner, which is our bigger corner than we've been doing in this pattern, because we're going to do 1, 2, 3 double crochets. Just making sure I'm working in the chain space and not into that stitch by accident. And then we're going to chain 1, chain 2, and then we're going to do 1, 2, and 3. All right, I do not trust my ability to do the chains in between each of these stitches properly. So now, before I move on, I'm going to pause and I'm going to count and make sure that I have 89 stitches across, including the chains. So I am going to count those chain spaces that I made as a stitch, just like we did for the last round. Okay, I finished another side and I counted to make sure I had 89 stitches. And I'm realizing a tricky part that I think I messed up last time. I'm going to get it right this time. I wanted to show you. We're at a corner, so we did 3 double crochets, 2 chain 3 double crochets. Then we have to make sure we do chain 1, and then we're going to skip that first stitch, go into this next single crochet. It's double crochet 2 together, so yarn over, insert into that single crochet, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over. Now we've got a chain space to work with, so we're back in the chain spaces. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull 2, pull through 3, chain 1. And now as you go along the row, continue just working in those chain spaces. So going back in that same chain space, and over, pause there because we're double crocheting 2 together, and back in the same chain space. The next chain space. And over, pull through all 3 and chain 1. And the same thing as you go along before you get to the next corner. At the corners is the only time that you're double crocheting 2 together, a chain space and a single crochet, and then you have to chain 1 before you start the corner pattern. And then that should get you 89 stitches if you count stitches and chain spaces. Or when you double crochet 2 together, you're only creating 1 stitch. You can see how the double crochet 2 together stitches are a little bigger than the chain spaces. It's dark outside now, so I turned the light on. Hopefully you can see this a little better now. You see all these stitch markers? I've had to recount these rows a couple of times. No judgment. Okay, so needing 89 all the way across, I was going to show you joining in this final section here. So there's a chain 1 right there, so that's my stitch number 84. Now I'm going to go back into that same, this is my final stitch here on this end before the corner. This will be stitch number 85, which is a double crochet 2 together, and I go into the single crochet. Remember, this is in a corner, so we combine a chain with a single crochet here. This gives me 85 stitches, and then we chain 1, gives me 86 stitches, and then this was my starting 87, 88, 89, and I'm in the corner. So this is my final side, 89 across. Here's the top of my chain 3. Pull out, and you're gonna slip stitch to the top of that chain 3, but I don't. I cheat and I go over 1 because I like the way it looks. All right, that completes round 5, 89 stitches on each side and 2 chain spaces. Can finish off with the brown. Okay, the 6th round. Next round. I haven't joined anything to this side yet. No ends to weave in. And I won't show you, I guess, too many more of these because from here we just start repeating, right? So we did the Ladybird, then we did the brown. Now we're going to do the burnt orange. And the burnt orange row is the same as the Ladybird row. And then the next chocolate row will be the same as well. So they all start to repeat. So I'll show you a little bit of this burnt orange, and then you should be good to go, repeating all the rounds until we get to the very last round. And I'll read the pattern and see what that looks like. All right, so now we have burnt orange. That's really pretty. All right, and so we are going to now join the burnt orange into this corner chain 2 space. We're going to do 1 chain, but that does not count as a stitch. And then we're going to do our corner, 1 single crochet, 1 chain, 2 chain, and then 1 more single crochet into that same space. And I broke my own rule and did not mark my first stitch, which I like to do. Okay, and then it tells us to 1 chain, miss the next stitch, which is that little hidden stitch, likes to hide in that corner. Make sure you see that stitch, and then we'll do 1 single crochet into the next stitch. Then the pattern just keeps on repeating. 1 chain, miss next stitch, one single crochet into the next stitch, one chain, miss next stitch, one single crochet to the next stitch, one chain, miss next stitch. And I'm saying stitch, but really because of the way we did the pattern beforehand, you're really going into the chain space. When you look at it from the top, it looks like a stitch. Chain one, miss next stitch, one single crochet to the next stitch, chain one, miss next stitch. So I'm actually missing the real stitch and single crocheting to the chain, chain one, miss next stitch, single crochet to the next stitch, so on and so forth. I'll leave you to it. All right, I'm approaching the end of my first burnt orange 6th round. So we've been doing in these chain spaces from the previous round, single crochet, chain one, single crochet, chain one, and now we went into this last chain space. Then we're going to do another one chain, mixed next stitch, and now this is our only, again, the corners are different than the rest of the round, so we're going into an actual stitch because we're out of chain spaces. Single crochet, chain one, don't forget that last chain one, and then we're going to do one single crochet, one chain, two chain, one single crochet. Now when you count across, this row should have 91 stitches, and you're counting the stitch and the chain to get to that 91. So now when you're on this side, we just turn the corner. We finished our corner. We repeat the pattern. So we're going to say one chain, miss the next stitch, which is an actual single crochet here. Single crochet into this double crochet actually from the previous round, one chain, and now we skip the next stitch. We start working in the chain spaces all the way across, which makes it go really fast. It's actually very nice and soothing. So find all your chain spaces. It's really much easier to go into them than it is into that stitch you made the double crochet two together from the previous round 5. So it can get working up pretty fast when you're doing single crochet, chain one, insert in the chain space, pull up a loop, single crochet, chain one. I love working into a chain. Can get into a nice rhythmic groove. Okay, and so that burnt orange round will continue the same, making sure you're counting your sides across the rows, and this one it's 91 stitches across. Then the 7th round chocolate, it's a repeat of the other chocolate row, so I showed you how to do that, but make sure you know that it's growing. There's 93 stitches along each edge. Then we go into clementine, which is a repeat of burnt orange, so all the pip rows are repeating, but again we're growing. Should have 95 stitches. Then row 9 we go back into the chocolate, and we should have 101 stitches. Then golden is another pip repeat, 103 stitches. Chocolate, 105 stitches. Sunflower pip round, oops, sunflower pip round should have 107 stitches. 13th round as 5th round, that means you repeat what you did in round 5. So come over here, actually you have to go back a page to the 5th round, and it was a chocolate round. And then 14th round is cornfield. Repeat till you have 115 stitches. So I'm just looking in the pattern to say 113 stitches along, 115 stitches along. Another chocolate round that gets us to 117 stitches along. And then the final one that we have here, our 16th round, make sure you have 121 stitches on each side, and pay attention because there are some double crochets, twos together in this round. So make sure you don't miss those. But really, that's it. It's late and I have to go to bed now, so I can't video myself making anymore, and I know you probably want this video so that you can start working on this. So I'll share the final week 2 version, but that should get you started on the pip rows for week 2. So beautiful. I love it.